You've seen the claims. This penny is worth $1 million. This quarter can make you rich overnight. But is it true? The truth is, most of it is completely fake. Exaggerated prices, misleading hype. That's what we're here to expose. Welcome to Rare Coin Collecting. We reveal the real value, real history, and true rarity of coins that actually matter. From wheat pennies to rare state quarters. We cover it all with facts, not fiction. We explore coins in detailed series, one country at a time. And right now, we're focused on rare US coins. Subscribe now and discover the truth behind the coins. People keep saying this quarter is just pocket change. But let me ask you something. Have you actually checked what's hiding on the North Carolina quarter from Philadelphia? Because this coin isn't just another state quarter. There are secrets buried in this one. And if you're only looking at the front, you're missing the whole point. The North Carolina state quarter was released in 2001 as part of the U.S. Mint's 50 State Quarters program. And right there on the reverse, you'll see something instantly recognizable. The Wright brothers, historic first flight at Kitty Hawk. It's not just a pretty design. It's a tribute to one of the most important moments in American innovation. But here's the thing. The Philadelphia Mint version of this coin, marked with a small letter P, is where things get interesting. Over 627 million of these coins were minted in Philly. That's a huge number, which leads most people to believe they're worthless, common, cheap, forgettable. But if that's true, why are collectors still scrambling to find certain examples of this coin in high-grade condition? Because there's more to this story than just mintage numbers. Let's break it down. First, the obverse, the side with George Washington, is standard. But there are variations in strike quality, die deterioration, and even faint doubling that collectors quietly hunt for. And then there's the real drama, condition. Because in circulated grades, these coins might not raise eyebrows. But the second you jump into uncirculated territory, things start to shift. Most North Carolina P quarters that have been sitting in circulation for over 2 decades are scratched, dinged, or discolored. But when a pristine, untouched, uncirculated coin surfaces, especially graded by PCGS or NGC, it can fetch unexpectedly high prices, even more so if it's graded MS67 or above. And there's one more twist you should know. Certain rolls of 2001 P quarters came from the mint with die chips, especially around the plane and those era coins. They've sparked quiet bidding wars. So let's build the suspense just a little more. If you stumbled across one of these North Carolina P quarters, flipped it over, and saw a clean full strike, no contact marks, no signs of wear, and if it graded at the top of the scale, do you know what that would be worth today? Because here's what collectors are really paying. For a regular 2001 P, North Carolina quarter in MS67, prices can creep up surprisingly high. And if it's a known error or die variety, those numbers get even wilder. But I'm not going to reveal the exact maximum price yet. Not just yet. Let me first tell you how many people have made the mistake of selling theirs for pennies. Literally, one collector found a near-perfect specimen tucked inside a roll he bought for face value. Had no idea what he was sitting on. Sold it to a local dealer who recognized the grade immediately. That same quarter was submitted to PCGS. Came back MS67. And you know what happened next? That coin was auctioned off, and the final price, let's just say it wasn't anywhere near 25 cents. In fact, the top auction prices for North Carolina P quarters in MS67 condition have reached up to hundreds of dollars. Yes, a coin you could have pulled from circulation years ago, now selling for that much simply because it was never damaged. And that's a big if, a coin like this ever graded MS68, which is extremely rare for this issue, that price would jump even higher. As of now, MS68 examples from Philadelphia are almost non-existent, which makes this a serious target for advanced collectors. So next time you see a North Carolina quarter with a P mint mark, don't dismiss it. Check the luster. Look for contact marks. Examine the strike. And if you think it has a shot at MS67 or higher, don't hesitate to get it graded, because this simple state quarter, when found in top condition, might just be one of the most underrated hidden gems in your pocket. And on Rare Coin Collecting, that's exactly what we're here to uncover. The truth behind the hype. And the real value behind every coin. If you're a serious collector, investor, buyer, or seller, and you're tired of the fake hype, exaggerated prices, and misinformation, you're in the right place. We're building a community around real numismatic knowledge, and we'd love to have you with us. Stick around. We've already covered 30 quarters and we're just getting started. They say this New York quarter could make you rich. But the truth? It's not what you think. In 2001, the U.S. Mint released the New York State Quarter as part of the 50 State Quarters program. But tucked quietly among the millions of standard issues was something rare, something collectors are still chasing to this day. It's the S-Mint silver-proof version, and it's nothing like the ordinary ones you've seen in pocket change. Let's rewind a bit. The design on the quarter shows the Statue of Liberty standing, boldly in front of an outline of New York State. There's a line tracing the route of the Hudson River and the Erie Canal, a quiet tribute to how New York became a gateway to the American dream. The quarter even carries the motto, Gateway to Freedom. But this coin has two sides, and not just literally, because most people only know about the Philadelphia and Denver versions. They're struck for circulation. They're everywhere. But the San Francisco Mint created something else entirely. Proof coins made especially for collectors, and a small portion of those were struck in 90% silver. Now here's where it gets interesting. The S silver proof wasn't made for circulation. You couldn't get it in change. You had to buy it directly from the U.S. Mint as part of a limited silver proof set. That means it was carefully handled, mirror-like in finish, and far rarer than its P or D counterparts. Only 889,694 of these silver proofs were minted, and for a collector's coin, under 1 million is considered low. That's the first clue. The second, most people never separated these coins from the full silver proof sets. So the number of individual coins out in the open market is even lower. And that's where demand begins to outweigh supply. But before you start hunting one down, there's something else you need to know. Collectors aren't just looking for silver. They're hunting for perfection, the highest graded, most visually flawless versions. Grading services like PCGS and NGC use a 70-point scale. And for modern proof coins like this, the highest premiums go to those graded PR69 DCAM or PR70 DCAM. Deep cameo proofs that are essentially flawless. Now let's talk about errors, because that's where values can spike. While it's rare, some New York silver proofs have shown signs of minor die polishing lines, frosting inconsistencies, or even double die reverses, where design elements look slightly doubled under magnification. Most of these errors are subtle, but serious collectors are paying attention. And here's the suspenseful part. Because while average silver proofs might be easy to find in sets, those graded PR70 DCAM, they don't show up every day. They're elite. And the price difference is shocking. So what's this coin really worth? A raw New York S silver proof ungraded, just taken from the proof set, might sell for a small premium over silver melt value. Nothing crazy, but if you've got one graded PR70 DCAM, that's when everything changes. This is the North Carolina proof quarter from the San Francisco Mint. It's clad, not silver, yet people still fall into the hype. You'll see listings online for hundreds or even thousands of dollars, claiming these are rare treasures. But don't let those big numbers fool you. There's a deeper story behind this coin, and the truth matters more than the clickbait. This quarter was released in 2001 as part of the legendary 50 State Quarters program. It proudly features the Wright brothers' historic first flight, an image of the first flight, flyer soaring above the North Carolina dunes. That moment in history, it changed the world. But the coin itself, specifically the clad proof version, was never meant for circulation. And that's where things get interesting. This coin came out of proof sets, sold directly by the U.S. Mint. It was struck using polished dies, on specially prepared blanks. That gives it that shiny mirror-like finish you can't miss. But here's what many sellers won't tell you. This is a clad proof, meaning it's made from the same copper-nickel sandwich as circulation coins, just struck with more care. It's not made of silver, and that dramatically affects value. Now let's talk about the mint mark. You'll find the letter S just below the motto, "In God We Trust," on the obverse. That's how you know it was made in San Francisco. These coins never hit circulation. They were packaged inside protective cases, usually along with 4 other quarters from that year's state releases. And guess what? That means many of them are still in pristine condition. So how many were made? The U.S. Mint produced approximately 3,094 to 140 clad proof quarters for North Carolina in 2001. That's a pretty big number when we're talking about collectibles. It's far from rare in the technical sense, but what really separates the valuable ones from the ordinary are the condition and grading. Let's be clear. A coin fresh out of the proof set might look perfect, but under a magnifier, even the smallest blemish can drop its grade. If you've got one graded PR69 decam or, better yet, PR70 decam, now we're talking real collector value. These ultra-high grade coins are where the real money is. But how high can it go? Well, before we get to that, you need to know this. Some sellers will claim that any North Carolina proof quarter is rare and worth hundreds. They might even say it's an error or misprint. Most of those claims are false or exaggerated. Always verify your coin, check for authentication, and don't fall for big promises with no proof. Now here's what actually moves the needle. If you've got a PR70 decam, graded and slabbed by PCGS or NGC, that's when collectors start paying real attention. These coins are flawless under 5x magnification, virtually perfect. And while most of these clad proofs won't make it to that level, a few do. And here's the number you've been waiting for. The highest auction prices for a PR70 decam North Carolina S-clad proof. Let's just say you'd be surprised. Some sales have crossed over 130. Others even higher, but those are the extremes. The typical raw or ungraded proof? Usually worth far less. If you're holding on to one of these coins and it looks pristine, don't just toss it in a jar. Handle it carefully. Consider grading it, especially if you believe it might reach those ultra-premium levels. But remember, even a high price doesn't mean easy money. It all depends on demand, conditions, certification, and timing. That's the truth about the North Carolina S-clad quarter. If you're tired of viral coin myths and want real facts about rare coins, proof issues, and what collectors actually care about, you're in the right place. This is Rare Coin Collecting, where we break down real numismatic value. No hype, no shortcuts. And if you're a serious coin investor, buyer, seller, or collector, stick with us. There's a lot more coming your way.